medic one, they just turn. Or if I need to talk to New Liberty Fire, I turn to Scott County Fire, get on there, I don't say New Liberty Fire from medic number 4, we're talking. Same thing, whether we're landing a helicopter, calling in different ambulances, fire departments, everybody can talk on the same thing.
You said you're below the national average already, not low?
Yes. Yeah. For metropolitan areas. We are. We're running in the.
You said the national average is 7. You're maybe at 5.
Yeah, I know we're in the mid 5s. You know, it fluctuates with weather, those types of things.
Yeah.
We're with, you know, when you get 20 inches of snow, it tends to put a little damper on that. And that's
what
just.
What do you expect it to go down to?
You know, we'd like to see it shave about 20 or 30 seconds off. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, that's again that perception of from the time that you pick up that phone and dial 911.
No, I know you're
it's never as quick as you want. It never is, and we understand that. Again, that's why we look at where do we need to be putting people, and based on right now the fire trucks are strategically placed around both cities. Our ambulances move throughout the day, and so we'll always be able to see. Well, hey, I've got a call coming in at 53rd and Elmore. I got an ambulance that just got done over at Trinity at Terrace Park. Boom, buzzing right over. Any other questions?
Kind of a stupid question maybe, but why did they run the big trucks rather than have a small little van or something with the first responders in it? I mean, there's probably a reason for it, but I'm curious.
It has to do with utilization of resources, and it's all, staffing.
It's actually cheaper in the long run to use that big truck than to have another. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
It's the equipment you need too. You might
it's the equipment you need and the manpower you need, and also, obviously the fire trucks are going to carry some equipment that ambulances don't. Saws, jaws of life, all that sort of heavy rescue equipment. Our folks aren't trained or equipped to do that type of stuff, so you're going to need all those different resources there.
Okay, I'm going to take you on to your next stop on the tour.
The lights.
Follow me.
Everybody's really busy.
What you handing out, Bill? You got a news release there?
Well, I did this info. People asked about see if they can throw it together.
Are you impressed with this?
Oh, absolutely. It's state of the art. There's nothing like it in the country. It's probably we'll see most progressive areas.
We can get you guys going on to the next stop.
Distraction. People will be here.
Walk around this way and then head.
Who knows? At least 2 or 3 generations, probably.
Say combining all resources like Davenport, Bettendorf,
The
Scott
savings
County.
is there, and I think I mentioned that in the long hauls. Expenses start out with, no doubt about that.
Okay, if I could interrupt, if I could get these guys on the tour, they can always give you a call or stop back.
Just got to push out of it.
Oh, okay. It's not quite Star Trek yet.
These are glass panels here, steel, south steel.
What's this room?
This is the hard room.
Hardened room?
If there's a design, tornado.
All right, welcome everybody. Okay. All right. This is our training facility. This room actually has 3 primary functions. The first one, obviously, as we mentioned, is training. When we first hire people on here, they spend their first 6 months of employment in this room, learning what we need them to do on the job, so that we're sure that they're capable of handling the job before we put them out on the dispatch floor. We'll do classroom, book training. We'll teach them on our new protocols that we're doing with everybody for our call taking. We'll teach them how to use the radios, and we'll have them learn how to use our CAD system. Our CAD system actually has 2 sides to the computer system. We have a test or training side of it, which is where we have the trainees start learning things. And once we're confident and comfortable that they can actually handle and maneuver through that system, we will then move them over to the live side, have them actually start taking phone calls slowly and feeding those out to the dispatch floor. The other second function this room can do is this can actually be attached to the Emergency Operations Center, which was the big room you saw when you first came in, so on the other side of those doors. In a large scale event, for example, something would happen at the Cordova nuclear plant, or a big thing like the seasonal flooding that would happen. If the Emergency Operations Center gets activated, we can actually assign some dispatchers to support that, and they would be assigned to this room. And anything they do in this room, we'll be able to project that information in our statuses up on the large wall in the Emergency Operations Center, so that the department heads and public officials and where the resources are at live current time. So that keeps the operations people doing their thing, keeps the dispatch people doing their thing, and there's not a lot of interference between two groups. The third thing we can do is we can actually assign this room to a specific special event for a community. For example, this summer we've got the Rag Ryan Risk going on the same weekend. Okay, we're already making plans for that this room will be utilized for that event. That takes the pressure off the primary dispatch floor so that somebody calling in on a routine 911 call will not stand the chance of being interfered by the large event going on by the Vixen Rag Ride. That takes a lot of resources on the street, a lot of radio traffic going on there. We don't want the radio traffic or radio frequencies to get tied up with all that stuff going on and us not be able to dispatch routine calls to normal communities. So we have that. This room is just like the dispatch center you saw. We have the raised floor in here. We're about 3 feet off the floor currently. All the wiring is running underneath. And somebody mentioned before, this room is also capable of an F5 tornado. If you can see on the back side there, we've got the glass doors like on this side, and right on the outside of those, we have the steel doors that close out in front of those. So those are able to happen on this side as well, and we're able to keep this room safe for the people in this room if that were to happen. So, any questions anybody would have?
Why don't you elaborate the nuclear problem at the Cordova, how might this kick in?
Okay, if there's an event at the nuclear power plant, Scott County is one of the counties in the region that actually gets put on alert. If there's some kind of event where they would need to do some kind of an evacuation, primarily the eastern part of the county, our emergency operations center would get activated, and the agencies out in that part of the county would get activated to do some evacuations and things like that. If it falls within the 4 or 5 mile radius or the 10-mile radius of that plant, those agencies that are out in that part of the county would be affected by that. We obviously would support that particular event if that were to happen. So.
Do you have a distal airfield in here so Scandebo's radiation shielded room?
No,
Radiation.
no, we're outside the ingestion.
Yeah, we're outside the 10 mile. Yeah.
Just in case
Yeah,
something else.
plus you're also looking more west and south of that facility. The trade winds will typically bring those winds eastward from that side of the
Prior to this setup you have now, how is your dispatching dealing with a BIX event when there's a seasonal,
Big event like that?
Yeah.
Actually, it was a mobile command center that they would activate to do the communications out of for those events. Scott County has a mobile command center, and that would actually be deployed out into those communities. For example, the Rag Ride, when they had it a couple years ago in LeClaire, when Tuckfest gets activated, they put that out there for that. Any large-scale event can activate that. It's available to all the agencies for use in that situation. So.
We're still going to use that though? Because like on the Tug Fest, I mean, you're not going to come here to...
Really, it depends on the organizers of that event, whether they want to use the mobile command they have close by out there on the scene, or if they want to utilize this facility for that. So.
Does that cost the communities anything if they bring a mobile out there? Is that a big strain to have 2 big events on the same weekend?
I think it'll be a challenge for coordinating events, but I think there's a lot of planning going on, so I'm sure that a lot of the kinks are going to be worked out ahead of time. We do have the ability or the luxury of the fact that LeClaire just dealt with the Rag Ride a couple of years ago, so they've got a lot of lessons learned that they can share with Davenport and help them think of those things up front before it's time to happen. So a lot of people in the community that can come together and help with the planning of that. And they're already doing those planning.
Do the organizations contact you to see if it's feasible before they plan 2 big events on the same weekend?
They're national.
Those are policy decisions that are made, and we're here and ready and prepared to deal with them.
Does the rest of staff evacuate to the data server room, the heating room, for an event of a tornado then, and simply someone's coming?
If that were to happen where that room would be jeopardized, we have the ability of using our backup center downtown, or we can move people to that facility if we would have to. So.
You're not telling me it's like minutes, so because data server's harder, and so is the heating building centers.
We know usually in advance we've got heavy winds coming, tornadoes or the winds are very heavy, and we can plan in advance for that and mobilize people to that location.
It seems like we're providing support for EMA at the state level in this facility. Do we get any kind of relief from the state?
We're not providing it to the state. They have their own EOCs.
County.
Yeah, we're doing it for the county.
We cooperate with the state, and the state cooperates with us.
Okay, so they don't pay us for their spots.
No, they sit at a desk that helps the liaison communicate from this EOC to the state EOC. So they have a desk here, that's it.
I believe some of the funding for Ross's budget comes from the state and the federal government, so they actually assist us. And Okay. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for coming out, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit about dispatching and emergency operations here today, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
If you want to exit the doors right there. Yeah. Yeah, you can go out the lobby and then we'll be out in a minute.
Thanks a lot.
Sure, thank you.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, just pull on the door.
Right.
Sure, thank you.